my fiancée texted. I'm staying at my ex's for a few days to clear my head. Don't make it weird, I replied. Then I sent her bags to her mom's house and disconnected her phone line, which I paid for. 4 days later, she showed up to our building with her bags. The doorman told her she didn't live there anymore. Since then, she's been calling me from her mom's phone, begging me to just talk. I always thought I'd be the last guy to write one of these posts. Guess life has a way of surprising you. 2 weeks ago, my fiancée Melody sent me a text that changed everything. I'm staying at Dominic's for a few days to clear my head. Don't make it weird. Dominic, her ex from college. The one she swore was ancient history when I found their text conversations 6 months into our relationship. The one who still commented on every single one of her Instagram posts. The one who just so happened to show up at the same industry conference as her last year. I stared at that message for 5 solid minutes. 3 years together. Engaged for 8 months. Wedding deposits paid. And she was clearing her head at her ex's place. My reply was just 5 words. Take all the time you need. Then I got to work. First thing to understand, I'm a systems analyst. My job is identifying vulnerabilities, planning contingencies, implementing solutions. I don't do emotional outbursts. I do strategic responses. Second thing, Melody and I weren't just romantically entangled. We were financially and logistically intertwined in ways she had apparently never considered. So within 24 hours, I had contacted building management to remove her from the authorized resident list. The lease was in my name. She'd never gotten around to signing the addendum despite living there for nearly 2 years. Suspended her access fob to the building's gym, pool, and parking garage. All under my membership. Cancelled the additional line on my phone plan, her phone, that I'd been paying for since hers broke 6 months ago. Transferred her portion of our joint savings back to her personal account. We always kept separate personal accounts alongside the joint one. A safeguard. Packed her belongings, clothes, jewelry, makeup, electronics, and couriered them to her mother's house with a note. These belong to Melody. Please ensure she receives them. Notified our wedding venue, photographer, caterer, and vendors of a postponement. I'd insisted on cancellation clauses. Analyst habit. I didn't rage. I didn't blow up her phone. I just methodically disconnected our lives. The next day, her mother called me. Melody's things just arrived here. Is everything okay? Melody decided to stay at her ex-boyfriend's place to clear her head, I said calmly. I'm helping her clear it further by giving her space. She can reach me through you if needed since her phone might not be working. Silence. Then, she did what? Apparently, Melody hadn't told her family. Interesting. 4 days later, I got a call from our doorman, Marcus. Sir, there's a Melody Winters here insisting she lives in your unit. She's not on the resident list anymore, and her access card isn't working. Protocol is to check with the unit holder. Thank you, Marcus. Miss Winters no longer resides here. Please do not allow her up. Understood, sir. 20 minutes later, my phone rang. Unknown numbers. I let them go to voicemail. First message, Melody, voice cracking. What the hell, James? I came home and they wouldn't let me in. My key doesn't work and my phone's disconnected. Call me back immediately. Second message, this isn't funny anymore. Where's all my stuff? Why can't I get into our apartment? Third message from her mother's phone. James, please. I made a mistake. Can we just talk about this? I didn't reply. I finished my workday, went to the gym, the one she no longer had access to, made myself dinner, then finally sent a single text to her mother's phone. Melody, I'm acknowledging receipt of your calls. To be clear, there is no our apartment. The lease is in my name. There is no our phone plan. I canceled the line. There is no there's a wedding. Everything has been postponed. You chose to stay with your ex to clear your head. Consider it cleared along with your belongings, which were delivered to your mother's house 4 days ago. If you believe items are missing, provide a list. That opened the floodgates, calls from her friends, her sister, eventually her father, a man I respected. James, can I come by tomorrow to talk? Just me. We met at a coffee shop. He looked tired. Melody says you overreacted. Says Dominic is just a friend and she needed space to think about the wedding. I nodded, then placed my phone on the table. I don't typically record conversations, but I keep receipts when things feel off. I played an audio file from 3 weeks earlier, Melody's voice. I don't know, Dom. Yes, we're still engaged. No, I haven't told him yet. It's complicated. I need more time. The wedding's already paid for. I'll figure it out. Her father's face fell. There's more, I said. But that covers the basics. He rubbed his eyes. Her mother and I raised her better than this. I believe that too. What happens now? Now nothing. It's done. The relationship ended the moment she stayed with her ex. Everything else was just paperwork. It's been 10 days since that meeting. In that time, Melody's story has evolved. First version, she just needed space and I maliciously locked her out. Second, she was confused about the wedding. Dominic was just a friend. Third, I was controlling and suspicious, so she turned to an old friend. Current version, she made one mistake, and I'm punishing her disproportionately. None of her stories acknowledged the phone call I recorded, the overnight bag she took, or the fact she didn't call me once in those 4 days. Then came the twist. Dominic's girlfriend messaged me. Yes, he had a girlfriend. He told her he was helping a friend with pre-wedding jitters. She found texts proving otherwise. Now she's out of his apartment too. So here we are. 2 women who thought they were in committed relationships. Both locked out of apartments they never had their names on. Both learning the hard way what happens when you build a life on assumptions instead of agreements. I've blocked Melody everywhere except email, which I check once a week. Her things remain at her mother's. Wedding deposits are mostly refundable, and I'll return her portion once all is settled. Am I cold? Maybe. But you know what's colder? Texting your fiancé that you're staying at your ex's place, like you're announcing a trip to the grocery store. Some people need dramatic confrontations and tearful closure. I just need clean systems and clear boundaries. She sent a text. I took it at face value. 3 weeks later. The ring? Yes, I got it back. After coffee with her father, he returned home and spoke with Melody and her mother. The next day, a courier delivered a small package, my grandmother's ring, and a handwritten note from her father. This should be returned to your family. Class act. Legal concerns? I consulted a lawyer before making any moves. Since the lease was solely in my name and she never paid rent directly to the landlord, her claim was minimal. Still, I documented everything. About the recording, some asked if it was illegal. To clarify, it wasn't an audio recording. Our walls are thin. I overheard her conversation from the hallway when I came home early. I immediately documented what I heard, habit from my job. Melody's living situation? According to mutual friends, she's still at her parents' house. Dominic apparently chose his girlfriend over her. Interesting how priorities shift when consequences appear. The wedding fallout? Vendors were surprisingly understanding. Most refunded deposits minus fees. Once finalized, I'll transfer Melody's portion back to her. Business is business. Unexpected development. Melody's younger sister called to apologize for her angry voicemails. She said she was embarrassed after learning the full story and wanted me to know not everyone in their family condones Melody's behavior. I appreciated that. Have I spoken to Melody directly since? Her weekly emails shifted from anger, "You had no right," to bargaining, "We can work through this," to reflective, "I understand why you're hurt," to apologetic, "I made the biggest mistake of my life." I read them but don't respond. Her most recent message, "I never actually did anything with Dominic. I just needed to figure out if what we had was real." Even if that's true, and I doubt it, who tells their fiancé they're staying with an ex to clear their head? That alone was the deal breaker. The rest was just system updates after a critical failure. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Melody showed me who she was with one text. Everything after that was just processing the data.